Good morning, everyone. This is Lisa with Hillcrest. I hope everyone's enjoying their beautiful morning, having their breakfast or finishing their breakfast. So today, it's Thursday. We've got two books. I've got Babe the Sheep Pig called Oops Pig, and then I've got The Tale of Peter Rabbit. So, and if you have these books, if you want to grab them and read together, or we can just read along. So let's get started. So the first one is A Babe the Sheep Pig, and it's called Oops Pig. The sun comes up, quack-a-doodle-doo, shouts the duck. Right on time. Babe is still asleep. Wake up, sleepyhead. Look at the puppies trying to wake up Pig. Time for breakfast. Pancakes for the farmer and hay for the horses. Feed for the chickens and food for Babe. Look at all those chickens and the little chicks too. Time for chores. I know there's quite a lot to do when you own a farm. Geez, that's a pretty nice fun. So gather the eggs, Babe. Oh, you see Babe helping out to grab the eggs over here. And oops, oh, I think something happened to those eggs. Can we see where those eggs landed on Babe? Made a mess on him. Oh no. Milk the cow, Babe. Uh-oh. Weed the garden, Babe. Oh dear, said Pig. Oh, I can see he's eating the weeds. And Babe, what a mess you have made. Oh, again, there's the weeds. He's eating the. Babe wants to help. What can he do? Oh, I see a bunch of sheep in the background there. Babe can herd sheep. I did not know a pig could do that. Good job, Pig, says the farmer. Still all messy, but he definitely had a busy day helping her out around the farm. All right, the next one. This one is very much a classic. This is The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. That is a very big fir tree. They have a nice little burrow underneath. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the woods to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Okay, definitely don't want them to be put in a pie by Mr. McGregor. Oh no. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. I wonder where Peter went. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuce and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. Oh no. That's the one thing his mother told him not to do. But around the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake, calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. Oh no, Mr. McGregor does not look happy to see Peter. And we definitely don't want Peter to become part of a pie. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other shoe among the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that he might have gotten away if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for the lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows, who flew to him to great excitement and begged him to try to free himself. Can we see Peter tangled up in that net? Mr. McGregor found a sieve, which he intended to put on top of Peter, but Peter wiggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. Oh, yep, indeed he did. And now he has no clothes on, no shoes on. Peter rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a watering can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide if it had not had so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath the flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. Suddenly, Peter sneezed. Kerchoo! He sneezed. Oh boy. He went straight into that watering pan. Wow. Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. He tried to catch Peter, who jumped out a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to his work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had no idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp from sitting in that can. After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. Yep, and he knocked over those 2 flower pots as well. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the woods. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it was alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. I wonder if that cat would have liked to have seen Peter Rabbit. He went back toward the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of scritch, scratch, scratch, scritch. Peter scuttered underneath the bushes. But soon as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned toward Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Oh boy, how is he going to get to the gate without being seen? Oh boy. Peter stopped running or looking behind him until he got home to the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was a second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in 2 weeks. Oh, and luckily he did make it home, though. He does look so tired. That evening, Peter was not very well. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea. She gave a dose of it to Peter. 1 tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime, she said. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. And that was the end of the tale of Peter Rabbit. So I hope you enjoyed both books. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And have a good one. Until next time, thank you.